Welcome mums and dads, albeit virtually, to our junior primary information evening. I'm Trudy Edwards and simply I have the best job in the world as head of primary here at Matthew Flinders. I can say hand on heart that this is a very special school, unique not just in regards to the incredible physical environment, but also the level of dedication to our students, our commitment to evidence-informed teaching, and the provision of opportunities to enable our students to excel in learning and in life. Our strategic and master building plan provides for our students today, but also well into the future. Those joining our junior primary years will be beneficiaries of two very exciting projects in our primary school. Our new Year 5 and 6 precinct opening in 2021, along with a new library. This 5 and 6 precinct will provide modern and inspiring space for our Flinders senior primary students to learn and gather together with flexible furnishing, a digital zone, breakout spaces and a natural environment where we have tree houses at the end of our balconies, allowing our students to connect with the world around. A large year-level gathering space on each floor, homerooms for classes and a full range of richly integrated technology, including iPads and drones, multi-level display capacity, smart TVs, iPads, allows a genuinely agile environment. Unlike the new Year 5 and 6 precinct, which is vibrant, high energy and about the head, the newly refurbished library, which will begin development at the end of this year and will be named the POW, Place of Wonder, aims to provide a sense of awe, connection and inspiration, a place to engage the heart as much as the head. For staff, parents and students, this will draw us from the operational aspects to the inspirational, a place of wonder, a space which connects with the natural environment and welcomes students to explore more than just books, but also creativity, a place that identifies Flinders Primary as a place where creativity and literature are core. We're well into the design phase and are really excited about the plans that evolve. Further developments such as the Year 7 precinct, which also houses new science labs, is also complemented with plans for a new design precinct to be built in the senior school in the years to come. It is our youngest learners enrolling in the primary school who will gain the full benefit of these projects. But school is far more than the buildings. At Flinders, your children will be marinated in a values-rich community as our values are integral to who we are. The academic domain of the Flinders experience is our core business, but just as important as the OP, or in your child's case, their ATAR, at the end of Year 12 that they'll achieve, it's that each student leaves us with dispositions of justice, compassion, integrity, and the courage to stand up and do what is right to make a contribution to the world. Relationships are key. This we know. Children need to feel they belong. We know this. And it's these relationships that build a positive environment, enabling them to feel that they belong here at Flinders. We teach our students that they achieve more as a collective than individuals. A student will move mountains if they have a community that sets the bar high, supports them and develops the dispositions to respond to success with humility, loss with grace and to draw on resilience in the face of challenges. Your child's going to find their champion here, an adult who's there for them, pushes them to greater heights, provides words of encouragement when needed and helps pick them up when they fall, but who also knows not to steal opportunities to develop confidence, persistence and resilience. We don't protect children from the discomfort of challenge. In fact, we equip them with building the skills and dispositions to engage with the challenges, be they academic, sporting or cultural. We're unapologetic about our high expectations we have, not just for the students, but ourselves. Good is the enemy of great, and we know students thrive when we balance expectations with support. Our staff go above and beyond to help students embrace opportunities, challenges, to feel inspired to find their passions through exploration, moving out of their comfort zones. We can all remember teachers who inspired us to become more than we ourselves thought we could be through an unwavering belief that each of us has more in them. Flinders is aspirational for each student in order for them to gain a sense of confidence in themselves. Our commitment to evidence-informed teaching and personalised learning is one of our greatest points of differences. It's an incredible privilege to be an educator today. We live in a time where we know more about the brain and learning than we ever have. For the first time in the history of education, We have research of such sophisticated level that we now know unequivocally the best teaching strategies that yield the greatest impact on academic achievement. This research, carried out over the past 15 or so years by Professor John Hattie and his team, synthesises over 70,000 studies involving well over 300 million students, and it lets us know which strategies have the best impact. Your children are being educated in a time where teaching practice is so thoroughly evidence-based that we can say that the education they're receiving is second to none. Every teacher in every classroom around the world chooses instructional strategies every moment of every day. At Flinders, we ensure those decisions are informed by research because we feel morally obligated to move beyond our own biases and respond to what we know works for kids. This not only ensures the best possible model for student attainment to be optimised, but also allows students to experience success, and with success comes confidence. Our unique Ready For approach provides targeted, personalised and differentiated learning and teaching based on each student's level of readiness, be that ready for consolidating concepts, ready for core instruction with classroom teachers, or ready for applying their understanding. Our Ready For application groups are supported by our English and Maths specialist teachers who provide a level of challenge which keeps those students who are ready to apply their learning to more complex, abstract and challenging contexts engaged, excited and motivated. This model also ensures smaller teacher ratios for essential literacy and numeracy learning, and therefore far more personalised instruction is enabled. We have an unwavering commitment to developing high-level literacy and numeracy skills and use evidence-informed programs to ensure students master the basics, particularly in the early years. Another signature Flinders program in primary is our iMpact program. This integrates humanities, science and technology curriculums with a focus on developing skills and understandings to engage fully in social, environmental and cultural entrepreneurship. Our students are focused on doing well by doing good for others. Underpinning this approach is design thinking, where students learn the basic skills and knowledge in order to design, iterate solutions to real-world problems. Our Year 3 students kept their history alive with a technology-rich unit, concluding in hosting a living museum for their grandparents and guests, which included programming 3D augmented reality. Our Year 6 Junior Boss program connects our students' financial literacy and enterprise studies by designing, developing and selling products which are good for people and sustainable for our environment, and where all proceeds are donated to charity. We know an incredibly important part of our roles as educators is to provide a context and a culture that enables and encourages students to be open-hearted, to wonder, to be awestruck, to be astonished and to enliven their curiosity, which pushes them to seek to know more, be more and do more, particularly in our commitment to each child's character development. It is no education at all if we don't assure our children know how to think intentionally and deeply and connect to engaged learning and a deep sense of curiosity. Such an approach supports our students, your children, to develop the positive dispositions and social and emotional skills needed not just to survive, but to thrive. And our iMpact units enable this to become a reality. We have staff appointed to support students and teachers to further enhance connection, curiosity and creativity. Our Head of Emerging Technologies, our Head of Information Literature and Resources, and our Head of Creative Arts, who's a published children's book author, are co-facilitators with our classroom teachers for these units and are constantly identifying, seeking and resourcing further opportunities to embed creativity, collaboration and imbue a sense of curiosity in what we do. We're spoiled here at Flinders with expansive grounds, excellent resources and a rich history of academic success. Our reputation and success is not just built on these physical resources alone, but more so on the quality of staff whose commitment and diligence towards supporting each student to achieve personal excellence is unprecedented. Flinders is as much a place for teacher learning as students, and our staff engage in weekly professional development led by our Head of Teaching and Learning. We all benefit from a highly aligned and research-informed staff, as this is critical for student success. There's exciting days ahead for your children and important decisions for you to make regarding their education. We do hope this evening provides you with a sense of who we are at Flinders and what our aspirations are for our students, your children. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to be in touch. I hope you enjoy the next few minutes of footage which showcases a little more about our college. This will then be followed by our Head of Junior Primary, Mrs. Chris Curtin's address. Thank you, and I very much look forward to meeting you in person.
Our main focus in prep is learning about sounds. We call them phonemes. Zzz. And then connecting those phonemes to a letter. Say deal.
Deal.
Say deal, but don't say do.
Deal.
You've got it. Say. That matching is so crucial because that's how children learn to decode. Let's keep the first phoneme, take away the last phoneme. Okay, let's try it again. Say goat.
Goat.
Say goat, but don't say t.
Goat.
Better. Key here is decoding words to read and to write. So if a child comes up against a word that they are not quite sure of, we teach the children to stretch out the word one phoneme at a time and then blend it together. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Chris Curtin and I am Head of Junior Primary, the sub-school leader of Prep to Year 3 at Matthew Flinders. Trudy has provided a snapshot of our college, who we are, what we stand for and what we strive to achieve. This next part of the presentation will take you on a virtual tour of our spaces, our wellbeing programs and explain how we support the transition of new students and their families as they join our Flinders community. Each primary class begins and finishes their day in their homeroom. These spaces have flexible furnishings that support a range of learning styles and activities. Our spacious green environment provides us with many places we can play as well as learn. Spaces like the outdoor classroom, the rainforest, the edible garden are perfect for investigating, problem solving, creating and innovating. Junior primary students move out of their classroom for many of their specialist lessons. Our Performance Centre is the space we use for our assemblies. Meeting together regularly builds our community and school spirit. Our parent community join us for many events each year. After weeks of training, the cross country is always a fantastic morning. But our favourite is Grandparents' Day, a very special day for our students as they show their grandparents their school and their learning, as well as having a little bit of fun. This video footage captures some of those moments. The junior primary playground is the space where our preppies play for their first year, before they have the option of moving to more play spaces when they move to year 1. Playing and being with friends are very important aspects to being a student at Flinders. We balance our academic focus and rigorous programs with a strong focus on each and every child's well-being. Our students need to feel safe, connected and confident in order to show us just what they can do and achieve. At Flinders, we prioritise getting to know our students, building relationships that will support them to develop the confidence and resilience needed for learning and life. Our Wellbeing Compass provides direction for our wellbeing curriculum and pastoral care practices at Flinders. The college values of courage, respect, integrity and compassion encircle our compass and are central to everything we do. The values provide the framework that we use to engage our students in discussion, reflection and learning on the importance of demonstrating these values in our everyday life. This is a group of Year 3 students sharing their understanding of respect. They linked it strongly to being a peacemaker, to include others and to being in harmony.
Today we're going to talk to you about respect. Respect means being a peacemaker. Being a peacemaker means not saying no, you can't join in my game, and including others with your game if they want to include you in your game.
It also means being in harmony. If somebody is new, you want to make them feel welcome, loved and involved in anything they're doing.
Our wellbeing curriculum embeds key competencies we want our students to have. The first is self-awareness. Students need to learn how to recognise their own thoughts, values and emotions so they can also learn how these things can influence their behaviour. Self-management is next. Students also need to learn how to successfully regulate their thoughts, emotions and behaviours in different situations. Social awareness is teaching our students how to respect others and appreciate the diversity and different perspectives that people may have. Teaching relationship skills ensures students learn the skills needed to establish healthy, sustainable friendships with a diverse range of people and groups. Responsible decision making is the final competency and a key skill for our students as they learn not only about behaviour choices, but consequences of those choices. Timetabled wellbeing lessons are used to focus our students on learning explicit skills that build these competencies in our students, who then grow into connected, resilient learners. Across our week, we have time known as the Flinders Way, when teachers revisit skills and check in with students on how they are applying the skills to their play and their learning. Our focus on well-being ensures students feel safe, known, respected and appreciated in the Flinders environment. The result is that our students enjoy being at school and have the confidence and desire to work hard and experience success as a learner and as a friend. Our college values are embedded into all of this learning and our everyday life. They are reinforced and celebrated at our regular chapel sessions and year level assemblies. Our primary and college routines and events give our students opportunities to connect, grow and learn about themselves, others as well as the world around them. The Student Council's leadership focus is on providing service to others. Students demonstrate this by organising lunchtime games for different age groups or co-hosting events such as Under 8's Day or Harmony Day, a day when we really enjoy celebrating the diversity of our Flinders community. Moving school environments brings with it change, not only in the environment, but also the experiences, the people and the friends. Each family will need to adapt to the many news that this change presents, and the Flinders Transition Program reflects our commitment to minimising the effects of these changes on each child and family as they join our school community. Taster Days support our new students to connect with teachers and peers before they join us. And in years 1 to 6, buddies are assigned to guide and support new students in the first few weeks. Building familiarity with the Flinders environment and forming key connections with teachers and peers are very important aspects of the Flinders transition program. The prep transition brings an additional layer of firsts as children transition from their kindergarten environment and commence their first formal year at primary school. We focus on building each child's connection and sense of belonging in their new environment that in turn gives them the confidence that they need to be happy, engaged learners at Flinders. The prep transition program is responsive and flexible and planned over a wide time frame, starting well before prep and continuing beyond the start of the prep year. Visits to early learning centres build connections and enable me to get to know the child in that familiar setting. Follow-up visits to our Flinders campus continue to build that connection and help the students understand what is ahead and know what to expect. The Flinders Prep Transition experience is something that we will share with interested families later this week. This short presentation will give more detailed information about prep and in particular the processes and transition and orientation plans. I hope that's given you an insight into junior primary at Flinders. Before our Q&A session, we have a short message from our college captains.
Hi there, my name is Harrison. I'm in Year 12. I'm sure it is daunting for prep students or children in junior primary to look at me and think of being in Year 12, but I must say the years have flown by. I've loved my time at Flinders and am very aware of how fortunate I am to have had a quality education. I am also very grateful for the countless opportunities I have had over my schooling to explore my interests, both academically and through my co-curricular activities. Thanks to Flinders, I'm passionate about many things, including learning, music, and helping others. I would say to the junior primary students to enjoy every day at school and to get involved in as many different activities as possible, because there is so much you can learn about yourself when you jump out of your comfort zone and build new skills.
Hello, I'm Holly and I began my Flinders journey at Flinders Early Learning Centre. I'm graduating this year and hoping to study something in a STEM field, probably mathematics at university next year. I love that I've been at Flinders since Felk as I've made so many beautiful friends over my years at school. I'm grateful to my teachers for being so supportive and caring and always pushing me to be my best. I truly believe they have our best interests at heart and want us to reach our potential. Flinders is an incredible school and I feel very fortunate to have had such a happy and rewarding start in life.
We hope you've enjoyed our junior primary information evening. As a virtual event, it's obviously a different scenario to how we prefer to meet prospective families. Now that restrictions have eased, our personalised tours will resume as of Monday the 1st of June. I encourage you to get in touch with our Registrar's office if you would like to see for yourself what makes Flinders such a vibrant and caring learning environment and all the opportunities available to your children. Thank you again for taking the time to attend this virtual event, and before we close, we hand over to our panel of presenters for a Q&A. Chris, over to you.
Thank you, Stuart. Joining me on the panel this evening, we have Mrs. Trudy Edwards, our primary principal, and Mr. Andrew Garrett, one of our prep teachers. We've had several questions come in today, so we're going to begin with those. And Trudy, this first question is for you. It's asking about music opportunities for students in junior primary.
Fabulous. Well, thank you first of all for tuning in with us this evening, mums and dads. There's a big part of me that wishes you were here in person, but hopefully in the next few months we will get to touch base and get to know each other then. So music, we're very committed to the arts. It provides for a liberal arts education, which is critical to the students' whole development. And our littlest learners, all of our students in the primary school have 2 music lessons. So we have a music curriculum program with 2 music lessons a week, but a really broad range of co-curricular opportunities. So for our little friends in prep to year 3, they can join Flinders Choir. There's also opportunities for them to have individual instrumental lessons, and that can be either on the violin or the piano in our early years. But one of the really exciting things is that each one of our Year 2 students from 2021, it's currently a Year 3 program, but we're moving it for 6 months, and we're moving it to Year 2 for 2021 and onwards as our strings immersion program. So every one of our Year 2 students for an entire year will have free violin, cello or viola lessons for half an hour each week, and that's in a small group with an instrumental teacher, and they work with that same teacher for the year and adopt both really great musical skills, and we know the links with mathematics is really strong there, but also a love and an appreciation of the arts. So that's some of the information about our musical program in the junior years.
Thank you, Trudy.
You're welcome.
This question specifically relates to prep, and it's asking about the homework in prep, so I'm going to hand over to Andrew to answer that one. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Chris. Well, the first thing I wanted to say about prep homework is that everyone can do prep homework, so that's the good news. And the second thing is preppies love getting homework, so you don't have the motivational problems with homework. So why do preps get homework? Well, we give the preps homework because we like to improve and reinforce the surface level learning, and we particularly focus on oral language and reading. So what does it look like in prep? Well, each week prep students come home with a bag full of different reading materials. Some of it will be shared with the parent and some of it they will read by themselves. We also include some camera words in these bags. Camera words are words that you see all the time in reading material. Some people call them sight words. Words such as and, the, was, those type of words are camera words. And the expectation is that preps learn these words and also learn how to read them and write them so that reading and writing becomes easier for them. Other homework may include what we call homework talk. When preps are going to write about a particular topic, the night before we send home that topic so that parents can share ideas and generate ideas with the prep student. So the next day the writing activity is a little bit easier for them. And then within our classrooms we use a variety of apps to reinforce phonics or maybe number skills, and these type of apps you can also use on iPads at home. So basically homework, we hope that it's a lot of fun for preppies.
Thank you, Andrew. Trudy, would you like to add to that and just expand it out across primary?
Yeah, absolutely, for primary school. As I spoke about earlier in tonight's presentation, we have a lot of research around what works and what doesn't work for children, and homework, interestingly enough, doesn't have a high impact on student achievement. So we've delved very deeply into that topic, and what we do know impacts very heavily on student achievement in a positive manner is mastery of what Andrew said earlier, surface level skills, things like in the early years, phonics, sight words, early maths facts, even some knowledge facts required to be able to apply their knowledge. So our commitment in homework is that it is mastery learning, and to master things we need to learn them to automaticity, and what that means for our little learners is our working memory is only small, and we need to move a whole lot of these surface skills and knowledge, the basics when we were at school they were called, into long-term memory. In doing so, it's not just about rehearsal and repeating to get it into long-term memory, but the end game is that our working memory is then freed up, and that allows our little friends to think, apply and adapt their learning far more easily. If they're still trying to figure out in grade 5 plus 10, then their working memory is full with that and they're not able to apply their knowledge in any way. So homework, as a rule across the primary school, is mastery learning. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Trudy. These next few questions were texted in earlier today. So this first question asks about our diversity and inclusion, as well as our multicultural policy and programs, particularly in the junior primary. I think that was addressed fairly well through our presentation this evening. There was the wellbeing part that we spoke to, and certainly that diversity is a very strong flavour through our wellbeing curriculum. Also, our faith traditions, our college values and our character development all play a role in building a diverse but unified student cohort.
Assigning buddies for new students and regular class building activities and celebrating things like a Harmony Day are just a few examples of how we build those practices into our Flinders environment, and that results in really developing that inclusive learning community. So I think that answers that one. This one's for you, Trudy. What is the female to male teacher ratio in the junior primary?
That's an interesting one. We've had a new staff member join us in the last week, actually, who's our head of information, literature and resources, in the old terms a librarian. And she's come from a state school system in a leadership position and said, you've got so many male teachers here, it's great. So I think if we had to figure it out, it'd be, exemplar on my left. I think if we had to figure it, probably 15 to 20% of our teaching staff in the primary school. So Andrew on prep, with 2 male teachers on year 4, one on year 5, another on year 6, a male head of creative arts who's also a published author, and he's available and does a lot of work around literature with our learners all the way from prep through to year 6. We have a male school counsellor, PE teacher, religious and values education teacher. So at the bottom of that is that we have some wonderful male role models for all of our students, but we also have some really wonderful female role models for both our students, boys and girls as well.
Thank you, Trudy. This question was about the timing, asking about the timing of the prep interviews for 2021. And the presentation that you've just seen explained how we usually meet the children, and that's always on campus for their interview. But due to the current restrictions this year, we are completing our interviews virtually, and we're actually using the WebEx Teams app. And it's actually working quite well. The children have to complete an All About Me that I get emailed back, and I have that with me and they have it with them, and that's a really tangible thing that we've got as we connect, sometimes for the first time. I get to find out their favourite food, what their family looks like. I often meet all the pets in the house, so it's pretty fun. And yes, we have started those now, and as I said in the presentation, we start our interviews early in the year, so we get to meet the families well ahead of the move for their children into prep. But for the parents joining us tonight who have a strong interest in prep, you will be receiving a follow-up presentation on the Flinders Prep Transition Program, and that experience will give you more details, and I'm sure will make you very aware of how we support your move and your child's move into our community. So, just checking here, there are no more questions coming in. So, Trudy, I'll hand over to you to wrap it up.
Mums and dads, we hope this was sweet and short for you this evening. You are engaging in one of the most important decisions you're making, and that's about where you educate your children. And that fit, that alignment's really critical, particularly from a values perspective, that home and school share those same values and aspirations for your children, for our future students. Please don't hesitate to be in touch with us if you have any further questions at all. Once we are through our COVID restrictions, we are very keen to get you onto campus and to see a whole lot of what we've been talking about in action. I think the best way that you get a sense of a school is to visit it when the children are here, and it's really lovely to have them back after such a long gap. So again, thank you very much for being with us this evening, and we truly hope to see you in person very, very soon. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Trudy. Good night, everybody. Thank you.